Bangladesh, the miracle nation that shocked the world. Imagine being the worst player on your school's sports team. Everyone thinks you're hopeless, and even the coach is ready to give up on you. Now imagine that in just a few years you become the star player, outshining everyone else. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's pretty much what happened to a whole country called Bangladesh. Let's dive into this incredible story that proves anything is possible with hard work and smart thinking. A country born in chaos. Our story begins in 1971. Bangladesh had just become an independent country after a brutal war with Pakistan. But this wasn't a happy beginning. The war left Bangladesh in ruins. Millions of people had died and almost everything was destroyed. Roads, bridges, factories, you name it. It was like someone had pressed a giant reset button on the entire country. Life for the average person in Bangladesh was tough. Really tough. Most people lived on less than 33 cents a day. That's not even enough to buy a candy bar. Life expectancy was only 26 years, which means many people didn't live to see their 30th birthday. Nearly half of all children didn't survive to grow up. It was a bleak situation. To make matters worse, Bangladesh seemed cursed by nature. The country faced constant floods, cyclones, and other natural disasters. Just months before independence, the deadliest tropical cyclone in history had hit Bangladesh, killing 500,000 people and flooding a fifth of the country. The world gives up on Bangladesh. With all these problems, many experts thought Bangladesh was doomed to fail. Henry Kissinger, a powerful US politician, even called it a basket case. That's a harsh way of saying he thought the country was beyond help. Many people agreed with him. After all, Bangladesh had no valuable natural resources like oil or gold. It was overpopulated, constantly hit by natural disasters, and its politics were a mess. How could a country like that ever succeed? But Bangladesh had a secret weapon: its people. They weren't ready to give up. Instead, they were determined to prove the world wrong. The great turnaround begins. The first few years were rough. Bangladesh's first leader, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, tried to build a socialist country where the government controlled everything. But this plan backfired badly. Factories produced less, farms grew less food, and prices for everyday items shot up so high that people could barely afford to eat. Things hit rock bottom in 1974 when massive floods destroyed the rice crop. A terrible famine followed, killing 1.5 million people. It seemed like Bangladesh really was the hopeless case everyone thought it was. But then, something amazing started to happen. New leaders came to power with different ideas. They started to open up the economy, welcome foreign investment, and focus on exports. It was like Bangladesh was trying out for a new team. And this time, they were playing to win. The secret weapons of success. Bangladesh's comeback wasn't due to one big thing, but many small, smart moves that added up over time. Here are some of the secret weapons that helped Bangladesh rise.
We are sorry to interrupt you, but if you like this video so far, please, may you kindly give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. This will really help us a lot, and we owe it all to you. Thank you.
Number 1, girl power. Bangladesh made a bold move by focusing on girls and women. They pushed to get girls into school and women into jobs. This wasn't just about being fair. It was a clever way to fight poverty. When women earn money, they often spend it on things that help their whole family, like food, education, and healthcare. Number 2, thinking small, in a big way. A Bangladeshi banker named Muhammad Yunus had a crazy idea. What if you gave tiny loans to poor people who couldn't get normal bank loans? Everyone thought he was nuts, but it worked! This idea, called microcredit, helped millions of people start small businesses. Suddenly, a poor farmer could buy a cow and sell milk, or a woman could buy a sewing machine and make clothes to sell. Number 3, clothing the world. Bangladesh found its superpower, making clothes. It started small, but now Bangladesh is the world's second largest clothing exporter after China. Millions of people, especially women, got jobs in clothing factories. This industry brings in billions of dollars and has helped transform the economy. Number 4, help from abroad. Millions of Bangladeshis found jobs in other countries. They sent money back home to their families. This money, called remittances, adds up to billions of dollars each year and gives the economy a big boost. Number 5, smart planning. The government and aid groups worked together on some key areas. They improved farming with new rice varieties that grew better. They fought diseases with simple solutions, like teaching moms to make special drinks that prevent dehydration in sick kids. They also encouraged family planning, which meant resources could go further. The miracle unfolds. As the years went by, the results of all these efforts started to show. It was like watching a flower bloom and fast forward. From 1990 to 2020, the economy grew super fast, even faster than China's in recent years. Extreme poverty fell from 75% to less than 20%, meaning millions of people who once couldn't afford basics like food and shelter now can. Life expectancy soared to over 72 years, a huge jump from just 26 years. Child deaths dropped by 92%, so almost all kids now survive to grow up. And almost all children finish primary school, compared to less than a third in the 1980s. Bangladesh even overtook India and Pakistan in GDP per capita. That's a fancy way of saying the average person in Bangladesh now earns more than the average person in those countries. If you told someone in 1971 this would happen, they would have thought you were crazy. Challenges on the horizon. Bangladesh's success is amazing, but it's not all smooth sailing. The country still faces some big challenges. Bangladesh relies heavily on its garment industry. But this dependence poses a risk if other countries produce cheaper clothes, or if automation takes over these jobs. The country also struggles with corruption and unfair business practices, which hinder its progress. Additionally, much of Bangladesh is low-lying, making it vulnerable to rising sea levels and stronger storms due to climate change. To sustain growth, Bangladesh needs to attract more investment by creating a more business-friendly environment. However, political instability remains a significant challenge, deterring potential investors from setting up shop in the country. Lessons from the underdog. Bangladesh's story teaches us some important lessons. Investing in people through education and healthcare might not show results right away, but they pay off big time in the long run. Empowering women leads to benefits for everyone. Finding a niche, like Bangladesh did with garment manufacturing, can be highly successful. Being creative with ideas like microcredit can have huge impacts, and never giving up, despite natural disasters and political problems, is key to progress. The road ahead. As Bangladesh celebrates over 50 years of independence, it's aiming even higher. The country wants to become a high-income nation in the coming decades. That's like going from being a C student to aiming for all A's. It won't be easy, but after seeing what they've already done, who would bet against them? To reach this goal, Bangladesh needs to tackle those big challenges we talked about. They need to diversify their economy so they're not just relying on making clothes. They need to improve their infrastructure, things like roads, ports, and power plants. They need to fight corruption and make it easier to do business. And they need to prepare for climate change while continuing to invest in education and healthcare. Why this story matters. Bangladesh's journey shows us that with hard work, smart planning, and a little creativity, amazing transformations are possible. It's a story that gives hope to struggling nations around the world. Think about it. If a country that was once seen as hopeless can become an economic success story, what other impossible things might be possible? Maybe solutions to big global problems like poverty or climate change aren't as far out of reach as we think. The next time you see clothes made in Bangladesh, remember, you're not just looking at a tag. You're seeing a small part of one of the most surprising and inspiring national turnarounds in modern history. It's a reminder that underdogs can rise, that the impossible can become possible, and that even the bleakest situations can change if we're willing to work for it. Bangladesh's story isn't over. In fact, it might just be getting started. As this once-forgotten nation continues to climb, the whole world is watching. Will Bangladesh overcome its challenges and reach its ambitious goals? If history is any guide, it would be unwise to bet against the miracle nation that shocked the world.
What do you think of Bangladesh? They are going through tough time right now. Do you think they can pull it together? Please leave it in the comment below. Please share it with a friend that you think might enjoy this topic. Thank you, and as always, stay blessed.